Well, good day. This is Mission Control Houston. You're looking at the International Space Station Flight Control Room here in Mission Control. It's been a busy week aboard the International Space Station with the Expedition 36 crew as the crew of 3 grew to 6 on Tuesday night when a Soyuz spacecraft delivered Fyodor Yurchikhin, Luca Parmitano, and Karen Nyberg to the station, joining Pavel Vinogradov, Alexander Mazurkin, and Chris Cassidy. They've been aboard for 64 days now, with the newest 3 crew members enjoying their 3rd day in space here on this Friday, May 31st. As the crew members made final preps for their newest crew members' arrival back on Tuesday, those 3 launched on their Soyuz spacecraft at 3:31 p.m. Central Time on a fast-track 6-hour 4-orbit rendezvous, arriving at 9:10 p.m. And after leak checks, the crew became 6 with hatch opening at 11:14, followed by a welcome ceremony and greetings from family, friends, and program officials gathered at the launch site in Baikonur. The first few hours early Wednesday before going to bed included orientation and a safety briefing, followed by a day of rest to orient their body clocks back to the normal operating time aboard the station. The crew kicked off its first full workday as a 6-person crew Thursday by unpacking cargo from the ISS Progress 51 supply ship and their newly arrived Soyuz crew capsule, and then continued setting up the new treadmill in the Russian segment of the station as well. Crew members spent some time working with experiments on board, particularly Chris Cassidy with the burning and suppression of solids, or BASS experiment, studying the variety of solid materials and how they burn and extinguish in microgravity. Karen Nyberg, the newest crew member on board the station, along with her other 2 crew members, performed some activities to orient themselves to their new environment. She also conducted some leak checks in a nitrogen gas assembly line in the multi-purpose small payload rack aboard the station. The crew members also worked back in the Japanese Kibo module. Karen Nyberg conducted those additional leak checks. Luca Parmitano from the European Space Agency worked to set up part of a wireless network aboard the station and trying to tie an accelerometer from that wireless network to the new treadmill on the station. The commander of the station, Pavel Vinogradov, worked with an experiment known as the Kulanovsky crystal experiment, which gathers data about charged particles in the weightless environment of space. The experiment hopes to gain insight into the physics behind electrostatic interaction between electrically charged particles. Alexander Mazurkin worked with a Matryoshka experiment, which is named after the traditional Russian nesting dolls, which analyzes the radiation environment on board the station. That's done periodically by crew members. Newest crew member on the Russian segment, Fyodor Yurchikhin, focused on transferring cargo from the Soyuz spacecraft in which he, Parmitano, and Nyberg arrived, and also spent some time orienting himself to the environment around the station as well. The crew members also began their preparing for the arrival next week of an automated transfer vehicle from the European Space Agency that will deliver additional cargo to the crew. So they're looking forward to that, which will occur on Wednesday of next week. And this weekend, the crew members will essentially have some off-duty time. They'll check on some ongoing experiments on board and talk with family members here on the ground. And then on Monday, they will begin a new week by undergoing some routine onboard training with emergency hardware familiarization aboard the station. So that's the week for Expedition 36 aboard the International Space Station. Have a great weekend, everyone. This is Mission Control Houston.